Hey everybody, welcome to Harmon Garage. I'm Aaron, and today we have a very special guest on the channel, and his name is Mr. BEAU James. That's right, we have a 1975 GMC Sierra Classic special promotion package BEAU James truck. So, says it right there too. I bet you if you go on the other bedside, it says it over there too. But anyways, 1975 only, special edition. And this one's seen a lot better days. But it doesn't matter because it's still what it is, and what we do here is preserve history. And that's what we're gonna do with this one too. So I'm gonna walk around it real quick. I'm not going to get into a lot of the details on why this is a special truck. I'll point out what some of the special items are, but if you want to know the full history of the truck and what it is and how many were made and why it's called BEAU James and what it is and so on and so forth, I made a special edition video about 2 years ago, and I'll link it up here, over here, down here. I'll link it somewhere so you can find it. But anyways, we're gonna go through this thing. Where you guys want to start? In the bed? Under the hood? I think we'll start in the bed. So back here on the bed, these trucks came with bed rails. These are missing. They're special bed rails that only came on the BEAU James and the Gentleman Gym, as far as I know, and they're not very easy to find. So if somebody has a set of them somewhere, please let me know, because I would like a set for this truck. Rusty bed, rusty tailgate, bent up rear bumper, pops his back. And there's the BEAU James on the other side. And we've got a bunch of garbage. So that was exciting, wasn't it? Yeah, I thought so. Next, we're gonna go under the hood here, and we're gonna start out with this BEAU James hood ornament. Pretty cool. Says GMC on the opposite side. And as you may have already figured out, those were only available on the BEAU James edition trucks. So hang on. Underneath the hood, we have the original 454. Has a mud dauber nest on top of the intake. I mean, a quadra-jet carburetor. And it's a mess in here. But all the original AC stuff is still there. All the original accessories are still there. It even has the cruise control. So it's seen better days, and I'm gonna go out on a limb and say it probably doesn't work anymore, but a new vacuum diaphragm and it still probably won't work. So this battery, this last I don't know, we're gonna put a charger on it, but I don't think it's any good anymore. And yeah, so we're gonna try to get it running in this video. We're gonna at least pressure wash it and clean it up really good. And as I'm about to show you, there's some other stuff in the cab that we're gonna go ahead and knock out too, just to get it in a good spot to where we can kind of tuck it away and let it sit while we gather parts to do a restoration or a revival or whatever you want to call it on it. I don't know that it'll ever get a full restoration. It might, but in the meantime, I'd just like to get it rust free and clean and usable. So anyways, let's go inside. First things first, this vent window is busted out. I happen to know somebody that hoards square body parts, so I have one right here that'll fit it. We'll get that in to help seal it up. Bottoms of the doors, this is the better side. That's not saying much. Rocker, pretty shot. Some rust bubbles in the cab corner. And there's a spider. I'm gonna name him Fred, so he's gonna hang out with us this video also. And nothing in the glove box. except for 9A6 GMC promotional package special paint. That tells us, matching that VIN with the VIN in the door, knowing that that's the actual spid sheet, that tells us 100% this is for sure a special edition BEAU JAMES truck. So anyways, back to doors are shot, dash pad's in decent shape, not really. Seat is in great shape on this side, it's real nice. And then we'll move over to the other side. Driver's side window, vent glasses here. Driver's side window's busted out, but once again, I know a guy that's hoards square body parts, and hey, look, got one of those too. So that'll help us get it sealed up, but it's in pretty good shape. Obviously comes with the 100-mile-per-hour speedometer because it's, I want to say pre-77, 78, I think they changed that. And this thing is dirty, and I'm gonna need to take a break for a little minute because I got my little baby girl just came over to see her daddy, so hang on. All right, everybody, I've got my little girl here with me, and I do not want her on YouTube or anything like that, but today's her birthday and she really wants to be on daddy's video, so I'm not gonna put up with any negative comments. I'm not gonna put up with any comments that I don't like. I'm not trying to be mean, it's just, it's my kid, and that's the thing. But it's her birthday and she wants to see herself on TV, so we're gonna give her a little shot at being on the TV. So this is Turtle. Hey, hi everybody.
Hi.
All right, is that what you wanted to do? You want to be on the video?
Yeah.
Okay, now what are you gonna do?
I'm just gonna say something like stuff.
Oh, okay.
And this is my dad. He was working all day and he was trying to work on the house so I can sleep.
Right.
And I'm trying to fix the camera with a little shot. And get a little shot so it's a little shot of the little.
Okay. You gonna show them what I'm working on? What am I working on? Am I working on this?
My dad is working on the truck, so this is the truck. It's all dirty.
Yeah, turn the camera around so they can see the truck. There you go.
And this is the truck. And it has a fly in here, and we need to clean this out.
All right.
And
Thank you. You were such a big helper. Say bye, everybody.
yeah.
Yeah, we need to say bye-bye because Daddy's got to get back to work. Bye. All right, now we got that out of the way. She's been bugging me to be on YouTube for, I can't even tell you how long. She plays with my cameras when they're sitting around and whatever else, and she's a good girl, and it was her birthday. This was a couple days ago. I've been spending a lot of time with her, but it was her birthday, so I figured what the heck, she wanted to be on TV. I'll let her be on TV this one time, and then we're gonna go back to, she's little and don't need to be on social media that much. So anyways, as she mentioned, we were kind of looking at the interior when she popped over here, but it's really dirty. So we're gonna do a couple things. We're going to try to get this all cleaned up. We're gonna try to make it run, which, just being forward and honest with you guys, where the truck came from had told me that it had run somewhat recently, so I knew that the motor ran, so I didn't see a point in fabricating or scripting a will it start video to make you guys think I was doing something cool. So rather than that, we're just kind of walking around and looking at stuff that makes it BEAU JAMES, and we're gonna see if we can get it cleaned up and get all the pieces on it that are supposed to be on it that we have, get it sealed up so it's out of the weather, and see if maybe we can't get it to drive itself to a parking spot. So that being said, it's got Quadrajet carb on it, which is what it's supposed to have, and it's full of mud dauber nest, and I'll show you guys here in a second. Pops is cleaning up a little bit. I'll show you guys here in a second I can pour gas down and fill the bowls on the carburetor up through the vent, and it'll fire up and it'll run. Now, the gas tank is full of gas. The last time this was registered was in the 80s. So the last time it was probably actually driven was in the 80s. And so there wasn't ethanol in the gas or none of that crap. So the gas just gets kind of syrupy. It doesn't do all the bad things that the ethanol gas does. So the pump is working. I pumped it out. It doesn't smell absolutely terrible. Doesn't smell great, but doesn't smell absolutely terrible. And I put some of it in a jug, took it over and set it on fire, and it still has the flash factor and it still burns good, which means it's flammable. So if we got compression and spark, it should burn it even if we have to start it with some fresh gas in the carburetor. Now, knowing that the fuel pump is pumping fuel, but it's not getting into the carburetor, and some of the vacuum ports and stuff on this carb have mud dauber nest in them, so I'm guessing this carburetor is probably just too plugged up. It's date coded 1975, so it's right year and everything for this truck. So when we do the restoration, this will be the carburetor that goes on here. But for now, I've got some other ones that are in crappy shape over in my cabinet, and I think we're just going to switch it out real quick and see if we can get one that'll take some fuel so it'll actually run, hopefully run off the tank. So that's the next step. I'm gonna go grab a carburetor, I'll change it out real quick, and then we'll fire this thing back up so you guys can hear it run. While I'm working on swapping over this carburetor, Pop's decided that he'd start working on getting this a little bit cleaner, at least getting the majority of the junk out. So he's sweeping it, which will make it a lot easier to get in here and kind of vacuum and wipe stuff down. So he's doing that. I got the carburetor off. I'm gonna grab another one. We'll throw it back on. We'll see if this thing will run out of its own tank. All right, so I learned something. Just because fuel is combustible with fire and burns good, doesn't mean that a car will run on it. So I tried, changed out carburetors. This is a newer one with an electric choke on it and everything else. I got all the vacuum ports blocked off, yada, yada, yada. Did everything. Got it started on gas out of my little jug here. And as long as I put that in, it would stay running, but it wouldn't stay running off the tank. So I just figured that the carbs were plugged up and the needle and seats were stuck and I wasn't getting fuel. So I hammered on them a little bit and blah, blah, blah. Nothing. I hooked up a jug to the fuel pump with brand new fuel in it. And now it wants to run on its own. Just so you guys know, that has water in it. It's a little rusty, maybe some oil, but no, there's no oil, I'm teasing. That has water in it. That has oil in it, so we're not like running this thing dry or anything like that. And before I fire this thing up so you guys can hear it and you go, oh man, that thing's knocking, that thing's knocking. Let me get a flashlight so you can see what I'm talking about. Once again, we're working in the dark. Somebody at one point in time put headers on this, and at one point in time that header tube right there rusted out and has a hole in it. So when it's running, sounds like it's got a bad tick or a knock or something. It doesn't, it's an exhaust leak. So I haven't tried to just fire this up yet without me putting fuel or anything in it. So we're gonna try it now and see if it'll start on its own. And it does, starts up. idle. Other than that exhaust leak, it sounds halfway decent. Might have a little miss or something, but it's been sitting for since the 80s, so to be expected. Probably needs plug wires, everything else. But so there it is. It runs off a can, and I'm not sure if it's the lower radiator hose or the water pump, but I think it's the water pump. I put my hand down the bottom of the water pump and my finger got wet, so I think that's what it was. That's what it is. Brake master cylinder is empty. The pedal is not stuck, so there's a chance we may have brakes on this deal. I just don't have any brake fluid right now. We'll probably get some in a little bit, but so yeah, I just had Pop shut it off because why sit here and yell why it's running. But there it is, runs. Probably would have ran okay off of the carb that was on it. I just didn't know, but either way, it's sitting here running off a Quadrajet. We may go get some brake fluid when we go to lunch. And Pop's got the inside all vacuumed out, looking a lot better. And yeah, so a lot better except for the doors being rusted out and all that stuff. So I think we're probably gonna go to lunch here pretty soon. We've been here for a couple hours this morning. I just haven't been doing much video wise. And we'll get some brake fluid. And if it gets a little bit of a pedal, then we'll see if the transmission does anything. I'm assuming there had to be a reason that this thing got parked in the 80s. It only has like 60,000 original miles on it, so I'd hate to think that the tranny was messed up. But it has a factory intake on it, but the intake's been switched, and it has headers. So I'm assuming it probably had an aftermarket intake, like some kind of high rise or something like that. And then when it got parked, somebody took it off to put it on something else or whatever. So that's just my thought process. Somebody might have been hot rodding it and ate up the transmission. The rear end might be junk when we were moving it around. The one tire was dragging. I don't know if it's locked up brakes or locked up rear end. I guess we'll put a little more into it and figure it out, but for right now, I don't want to put it, I want to be on the concrete to do some of the stuff that we need to do, and I don't want to put it in reverse to see if it moves and have it shoot across the parking lot and it won't stop, and then not be on the concrete anymore. So we're gonna do what we're gonna do, and we'll keep doing it, and I'll keep showing you. All right, guys, gonna have to deal with a little wind today. Not much I can do about it, but we were messing around with it, trying to, we got it to stay running. Put it in gear, doesn't want to move. So I put some tranny fluid in it and went to start it back up, and now the battery's dead. And yeah, so we're gonna move on to a couple things I want to, okay, that'll be over there somewhere. Couple things I want to do to this. Replace this busted out vent window with one that I have, and I also want to replace the driver door glass. This one's fine, I just rolled it down. Replace the driver door glass, that way we can seal it up and it's not getting rained in and everything else while it sits for a little while till we get around to working on it. And so I'm just taking the door panel off because obviously that's the first step. Trying to get my ring here. Get my window crank off. Like so. Little trick I always do. You guys don't have to if you don't want to, but when I take these window crank knobs off, I go ahead and put the clip back on. Then when you go to put this back on, you can just push it on and you don't lose your clip. So we'll keep track of all that stuff. And then got a screwdriver here. We'll take our screws out of our armrest. This side's going to be a lot easier than the other side because we're just doing the vent window. When you do the door glass, you got to take the vent window and everything else out to get to it. So it's just a little more time consuming. Same process, just a little more time consuming. So. Cut that off. Let's probably go a little bit quicker if I had a screw gun, but this is old brittle plastic that we're messing with, and it's in pretty good shape, so I'm hoping to clean it up really good and maybe re-dye it and reuse it. So I don't want to start getting after it with power tools and cracking it or tearing it up or whatever. So because for the most part, even that one over there that the window was busted out at, well, I guess there was a window busted out on both sides, but even that one over there's in the door panel's in really good shape. So got that off. Got a screw up here by our door handle. It's gonna come out too. Everything's coming out pretty good. I like it. I shouldn't have said nothing because now I'm gonna jinx us. But then we got a few screws down here along the bottom. Last one. That off just like that. Now, that's the easy part. Looks like one of those is broke. I think I've got some laying around. We'll be able to fix that. So, that being said, this is what we're working on right here is this vent window. So, you guys should be able to see. There's 2 bolts down here, and then up here, the door's so rusted out, I don't even know if we're gonna be able to get these bolts out, but we're gonna give it a try. You got 3 up here. That one came loose. That one, I don't think is going to. Dang it. Yeah, we could try it. And I gotta get a stubby screwdriver for that one. So I'm gonna work on this for a minute, see if I can get that loose, and I'll bring you guys back and show you what we're dealing with in there. Okay, so the top screw's up here. As you can see, everything's all rusted out. I tried to get that screw out and I couldn't. And it screws through the door and into the window. Let me see. Yeah, you can see right here. It screws in right there. So I took a drill, drilled the head off of it. And we take this one out, that's gonna get rid of that whole frame because we got a whole new frame here. And I'll just put a new screw in it. So then you got this screw here, which I took out, and this screw down here, which appears like it's already been drilled out. So I think as far as up there, we got her done. So now I just got these two bolts down here. And I think I'm gonna have to take this, I call them smoker's vents. I don't know what they are, what the actual name of them is, but a little window vent up there, I gotta take it off probably. It should just be held, yeah, it's just held on with a couple flathead screws. So that's easy. These upper window vents that I'm taking off, just in case you guys don't know, were a dealer option on, I guess, every square body truck. So I don't, as far as I'm aware, they were never put on at the factory. They were a dealer option, and they're really good at rotting out your doors because they go up in there and drill holes in your door, which lets moisture in. The tops of these doors, like I already showed you, are rusted out really bad, and I'm not sure why, because they still got the original weather stripping up there, and that usually keeps the water out, and it's got drip rails, so I'm not really sure why they rusted out so bad, other than it just sat in the same spot for a long time and rusted out, I guess. I'm not a big fan of these vent deals that I'm taking off right now, but since this is kind of a special edition truck, and obviously them being a dealer option, they most likely got put on at the dealer, which means they've been on it from day one. So I'll put them back on when I put the new doors on, because the way I feel, they belong on it. So, and they'll go back on these doors for today, because we're trying to keep it original. So, all right, now you have to take your weather stripping, which is just gonna crumble away to pieces. There's no way around it. And you gotta get it pulled down, because the top of this window hooks up in behind it. So if you go to pull on it without taking it down, you're gonna be fighting it. It's never gonna go anywhere. Like that. Old broken vent window is out. All right, got that out, and as I mentioned, one of these little plastic clips down here that, geez, holds the door panel on was busted. So I went in one of my stashes over there and got another one. These fit really tight. The newer ones aren't so much. Once again, spending a lot of time messing around with some junk doors, but it's okay. Maybe we might not even be able to make that go in there. So all right, 3 hours later, got that handled. Now, see what we can do about getting our new vent glass down in here. Got some new screws to hold it in. Don't know if there's enough door left here to use this screw to pull it up like you normally would. I guess we'll find out in a second. Maybe. Alright. Every kind of bug known to man is flying around here now, summertime. We got our 2 bolts left to put in as far as the vent window. Then we can clap this door back together real fast and be done with it. window I'm putting in may or may not have been sitting out in the moisture. No, it wasn't sitting outside, but sitting out in the moisture, and all the threaded holes got rust in them and stuff, so makes it a little bit rougher to put them back on. So, all right, next step, door panel. And this thing is a dang spider palace. Pretty much just put this back on same way we took it off, and a couple screws down here at the bottom, one up here, and then some here and some here. This one didn't sit in there right. It's the one I replaced. I'm not quite sure why. There we go. That's better. Door armrest deal here. show you. And see how that just pops right on there? Now, make sure our window operates properly, which it does. Okay. And we'll get our little smoker's vent put back up here. I don't know that I've ever put one of these back on. I usually take them off and leave them off. So. All right, that's all back on. And our window rolled up. Alright, got our vent window in, our door glass was already there. Other than cleaning this door up pretty good, this side is as done as we're gonna get it for now. I'm gonna go over, I'll get the other side tore down to where we're pulling what's left of the door glass out. I'll show you guys how we're gonna do that, and then we'll get that side wrapped up. Okay. I got this door stripped down to the point that I had the other door stripped down to, like I told you I was going to. And then I also took, that's just hanging. I also took our outer felt thing off, and I'll show you why here in just a second. This isn't the window crank off this door. This is just the spare one that was laying around. But I'm gonna go ahead and we'll roll this up. I gotta keep moving it because there's no window to keep it guided. Now, if you have that outer felt off and all that, you can usually roll the window up far enough that you can get this out. this is fighting me so bad. For some reason it doesn't seem like it wants to come up as far as it could. Usually you can get these closer together. Like that. Not the exact right way to do it, but it'll go back in easier. I'll show you how we do that. So for right now, the piece of glass that I got to put back in here does not have this track on it. And I did that because it's the thicker 73 to 80 glass is almost double the thickness of the 81 to 87. And they are shaped just a little bit different. Well, the only passenger or driver side glass that I had for 73 to 80 didn't have this track on it. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go over and I'm gonna sit there and I'm gonna chisel all of this out. And then obviously I don't have the new piece to put in there. So I'm gonna put weather strip adhesive down in the track. We'll put the window on it, put it in, and then we'll put everything back together, put it all the way up, and just let it sit there, and it will cure up and do a good job of gluing the window to the track. So I'm gonna go ahead and go and get all this cleaned out, and then I'll bring you guys back and we'll keep going with it. All right, I took red Scotch-Brite and I Scotch-Brited out this channel the best that I could to clean it up. And then I did inside the track here also, and then I took brake parts cleaner and sprayed it in real good to clean out everything that I cleaned off. Here's our window. Like I said, this one's somewhere in the 1/4 inch wide range. That's usually a 73 to 80 window. Like I said, the newer ones, the 81 to 87, are only about 1/8 thick. I could have another one out here to show you, but I'd have to go dig it out of my storage bus and stuff, and I'm not going to do it today. So this is part of the rubber that's the actual hold down for one of these, and it's kind of stuck to this window. I'm going to leave it on there because it's going to help with the spacing. So I got some 3M super weather strip and gasket adhesive that's probably like 6 years old, and I don't even know if it's any good anymore, but we're going to put, it's still pliable and it still comes out of the tube, so we're going to squeeze a bunch of this in here. Probably way too much, probably all going to squeeze out and make a mess, but hopefully it'll make it hold the window on. I guess you kind of know when your black weather strip adhesive isn't any good anymore, when it's no longer black. This stuff's coming out some like yellow green snot looking stuff, and I'm guessing that means it's probably not like optimally new, but that's all right. Okay, well, I'm gonna try to figure out what to do with my hands now. And probably try to get the rest of this cleaned off of here. And then we'll let that set for a minute and see if it sets up and kind of makes it stick or something. All right, I let that sit for a little bit now, and so a little bit of it pushed out onto the glass, and I went and tried to clean it up with a razor blade, and it broke the razor blade. So I'd say it's still hardening up and getting sticky. I'm spraying some white lithium grease down in this track because it was pretty rusted up and stuff. I got it all sanded down and cleaned up, so. About time. All right. Progress. Man. Okay. Now, y'all probably can't see nothing. All right. Now we're getting somewhere. Maybe. Maybe not. I gotta go get a new bolt because this is the bolt that was in there. This is the bolt that's supposed to be in there. We don't want to do that. I got more of these. I'll be right. Okay, I got two matching ones. Come down here. These in place. piece won't just shut out. But there's not much door left to attach it to anyway. That's what I needed to do. That over a little bit. Alright. Now we just want to check and make sure that our window goes up smooth like it should. Like so. And we're good to go. So I'm not going to make you guys watch me put the door panel back on because we already did it on the other side. So I'll get everything all put back together. I'll go make my finger that I blasted on that stop bleeding. And yeah, we'll move on to what we're going to do next. All right, it's all back together. This window that I had happened to have factory tint. The rest of the cab might not have, but whatever. Rolls down really nice and easy. Rolls back up really nice and easy. That white lithium grease really makes a difference. So all this is good. It's all back together. I've had that battery on the charger all day and it is not cranking. It cranked fine earlier. So I'm gonna bring jumper cables over and hook them up and see if my battery charger's just not doing its thing. Otherwise, I have another starter I can throw on it if the starter's just old and wore out. We'll see. I'd like to drive it over to the wash bay. I'm gonna give it one more chance. If I can't drive it over there, we'll hook it up to something and drag it. So here we go. As you saw, I just had Pops. I told them, hey, hit the camera real quick so they can see it moving, because it was a kind of a cluster to get it moving, but we got it. So as you saw, it moved, and in moving it, I drove it over to the wash bay because it's about time to get this whole girl cleaned up. So we got the bed cleaned out, and the rest of it is just dirty. It's got years of scum built up on it. The roof's probably gonna take a few rounds. All this is covered and who knows everything. That's a wire for something. Engine compartment is just full of dirty. Kind of gonna start at the back and work forward so we can let it cool down. And just get this thing cleaned up and looking better. So even though it's still a long ways from being nice or whatever, at least it's something, you know. So that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna get the bed cleaned out first because it's gonna take quite a bit of spraying, and it's gonna be spraying all over everything, spraying all that mud out of the bed. So we'll do that, and then once I get the bed sprayed out, I'll try to put you guys somewhere that you don't get plastered with it. And once I get the bed sprayed out, then I'm going to start with the roof, work my way to the back, and so on and so forth. We'll figure out some sort of little montage or something, and try to make this somewhat exciting. All right, well, I've been washing away and washing away and washing away on this thing, and it's not coming super clean, super fast, but I mean, I guess it's doing something. So I got this fender and the door and about up to the front of the wheel well on the bed done. The hose wouldn't reach back here. And then for the most part, I got the bed cleaned out. It was terrible. It had 2.5, 3 inches of just whatever built up in it. There's some of it right there. It's some kind of dirt and sand and who knows what else. I haven't done this side yet, as you can probably see. And I haven't done the roof, which is really bad, or this whole side, and I still got to do the engine compartment. So as you may be able to tell, it's brighter and nicer and earlier looking outside. My hose on my gas powered pressure washer that I normally use popped a hole in it last night, so I had to order a new one. I had to borrow this little electric one from a friend because that was the only one I could find that I could borrow, and it doesn't have the pressure that the gas one does. So we're doing our best. I'm going to take you guys up in the bed, and I'm going to try doing a little bit of the roof, see if it even does it. we got her cleaned up on the outside, so might as well get her cleaned up a little bit on the inside too. I know it's not much to look at, but just get a couple years of grime off of it, so that's just less years of grime that it'll have on it until we can get to it. I just got some simple grain in the bottle, my go-to. Try to get this 40-some years of dust off of this thing. You see what I'm doing? You don't need to watch the whole process. I'm gonna get this all cleaned up the best I can. I'll show you what it looks like when we get done. Okay, so I mentioned earlier in the video that some of the side trim was missing. We're missing this upper piece here, which I have right here. We're missing the lower piece back here, which I have right here. Luckily, I'm a square body hoarder. And for some reason, if I look enough, that stuff just happens to be laying around. We need the piece for the door, which I have right here. And this front piece on the other side of the bed, we've got right here. So we've got all the pieces. Now with this, like this one on the door, it's got a stud in the back with a nut on it, and then you got these smooth pads here, and at one point in time they had double-sided tape on them, and it's all dried up and not sticky anymore and whatever. So I've got 3M double-sided tape. So what I'm going to do is I'll go through and get these nice and clean. I'll put new pieces of tape on and we'll get them mounted on the door, and then I'll bring you guys back and show you what it looks like all cleaned up when I'm done. All right. So I got those things done that I said I was going to do, and now I'm going to go back and I'm going to show you guys in order of what I did. The truck all done. Now we're going to run into a lighting problem again under the hood because that's what we do. But yeah, so as you can see, the engine compartment is much less cobwebs, much cleaner. I haven't cleaned the fuel tank out yet, and just in case you didn't already know, so under the engine compartment looks a lot better. I got all the leaves and stuff off the cowl up there. All this is clean. And then we moved over to the interior and we wiped down the door panels and all the door that's there, and we cleaned up the dash the best that we could without causing damage to it. We did all the pillars, we did all the kick panels. I did the best job that I could cleaning and vacuuming the seat to get it nice and cleaned up the best we could, and wiped down the gauge bezel, all the gauges, wiped down the steering column, steering wheel, vacuumed the carpet up the best that I could. And I'm going to take you over and show you, but pretty much just did the same thing on the other side of the cab too. So door panels all cleaned up. Door, as much is still there and as much is still there. Got the door frame. Got this side of the seat cleaned up also. Got this side of the dash cleaned up also. And we got this side of the carpet all done also. If you've been paying attention in the video and you haven't just been hitting the 10 more seconds, you'll know that we replaced this vent window here because it was busted out. Doors closed okay for 75. It's been sitting since the 80s. Got that cleaned up. I wouldn't say cleaned up, but anyways, it has a window now. And then I told you that we were missing this piece of trim right down here. And guess what? It's not missing anymore. But it doesn't line up over there. And I knew it didn't line up over there because I saw it not lining up over there. And I know why. And I came to get my trim adjusting tool and grab the camera instead. So just give it a little. Little adjustment. It could probably use a little more, but it's not that bad, and I've got more of those pieces. And when we do the restoration, every wheel trim, every body molding, every mirror, every door handle, everything is going to be brand new, because that's how you do restorations. So I told you the bed was being really difficult to get cleaned out, and I'd say it is 97%. It's got a little bit of surface rust problems, got a little bit of rust hole problems, but those we can sort out. Don't know if I ever showed you guys the tailgate, but missing the band, we can get one of them. And as you notice, it's holes up here. That's because it's missing the rails, which aren't as easy to get. If you know where there's some and they're reasonably priced, please let me know, because I need them. But anyways, I showed you before, this piece of trim was missing. Not no mo. This piece of trim was missing. Not no mo. And this piece of trim was missing. Not anymore. She's as good as we can get her for right now, folks. And I know somebody's gonna go, what'd you even do to it? Well, I know it's not a full restoration. I know it's not, you know, done, but it is a cleaned up, fairly complete, semi-drivable BEAU James. And honestly, I don't have no pride. I'm not too proud. I will fire this sucker up and drive it to a car show like it is and sit there all day and talk to people about it, answer questions about it, let people touch it and look at it, because that's the way it is. If you don't go to car shows, you don't know that this rusted out old stuff is just as cool as the fully restored one. And like the thumbnail said, this is a legend. It's a 1975 GMC BEAU James. Depending on who you talk to and where you look, they made between 900 and 4,000 of these. From what my understanding is, it's closer to 2,000. I could be wrong. I don't know everything, but that's information that I got. So anyways, with that being said, if you guys think this truck's really cool and you're into special edition 1975 GMC trucks, then you probably know what that is. That is a special edition 1975 GMC truck. And if you think that's cool, there's a video on that one too. So go back in the channel, find it, and check it out. But anyways, with that being said, we've gone just about as far as we can go on this for right now. We've got other stuff we need to do, and we've got parts we got to get saved up. So thank you guys so much for watching. If it wasn't for you guys, I still can't really do this. I'm just kidding. If it wasn't for you guys, I wouldn't be able to do this. Y'all have a good one. We'll see you next time.